In chapter 2, we have subject and predicate. Subject and predicate. Now, what is subject and what is predicate? We have to learn. Now, we have studied about sentence. Now, usually a sentence contains subject, verb and object. Here we do not have to study about subject, verb and object. Now, we are just going to learn subject and predicate. So, all the sentences mostly we can just divide into two parts. Remember once again, every sentence we can divide into just two parts. How? And those two parts will have the names subject and predicate. The first part of the sentence will be named as subject, and the second part of the sentence will be named as predicate. Now how? What's the rule? Not just simply we can say this is the first part, so subject, and the second part, so predicate. No, not in that way. There is a rule. Okay? So now, for example, we have from the book, a policeman appeared on the screen. So, for example, we have a policeman appeared on the screen. Now, this is a sentence. This is a simple, ordinary sentence. Which kind of sentence? The assertive sentence. Okay. So, this sentence, how can we divide into two parts? What we are going to study now. The two parts are subject and predicate. Which part will be subject and which part will be predicate, and from where? That. Okay. So, subject is the part of a sentence that tells us what the sentence is about. Clear? Subject is the part of a sentence that tells us what sentence is about. So let us look at this sentence. A policeman appeared on the screen. So this sentence is telling about whom? What the sentence is about? The sentence is about a policeman. The sentence is about a policeman. Clear? So till here. Now what is predicate? What is predicate? Predicate is the part of a sentence that tells us something about the subject. Now this is already subject. Why not? This part is already a subject. Now the part. Now we are learning predicate. What is predicate? The part of the sentence that tells something about the subject. Appeared on the screen. So rest of the part till here is predicate. Predicate. Clear? Another example. Let's look at this sentence. This story is very, very interesting. This story is very interesting. Now let's ask to find out the subject? To find out the subject in a sentence, we have to always ask, what is this sentence is about? Now, what is this sentence about? This sentence is about the story, and that's why this story becomes a subject. This story becomes subject. Clear? And what is telling about? It's telling about the story. What is that? There is something is very interesting. So this is predicate. Okay? Clear? Good. So in most of the sentences we have, at the first of the sentence always we have the subject. In most of the sentences. But it is not necessary always. A subject should be always at the beginning of the sentence. This is not necessary. But in most cases, in most of the sentences, we find the subject at the beginning of the sentence. But remember, this is not necessary. This is not always. Sometimes we have at the end of a sentence also the subject. Let's go for the example of that kind. Here we have the example of those kind where the subject is also found at the last of a sentence. Here, in a corner of the room stood Ranjit. Clear? Now, if then, like these sentences also we have, so how to find out? The rule is nothing but the same. Ask. What you will ask? To find out the subject, ask the same thing. What the sentence is about. Read the sentence and try to understand what the sentence is about. So this sentence is about Ranjit. Who is standing at the in the corner of the room? Ranjit, no. So sentence is about Ranjit, and that's why this is the subject. And rest of the things here, they are predicate. They are predicate. Clear? Good. In number C, we have subject in imperative sentences. The assertive sentence or the ordinary sentence, as I said, we have subject is always found at the beginning of the sentence, or sometimes rarely we find at the end of the sentence also. And in both the cases, how to find out, I have already told. What's the rule? I have already told. Okay, good. Now, in imperative sentence, we have learned what is sentence, what is imperative sentence, interrogative sentences, exclamatory sentences, okay, assertive sentences. We have learned it. So they are saying imperative sentences like giving command, advice, request. Remember? Don't forget it. So usually in those kind of sentences we directly don't find the subject. So if you remember, in imperative sentences the subject is implied. It is not stated. What is the meaning of implied and stated? Implied means it is just understood. The subject is hidden. It is understood. What is the subject? It is not written. Okay. It is just understood. For example, let's see. So, before that, in the imperative sentences, the subject is always you. In the imperative sentence, the subject is always you. remember this much. For example, wait there, wait there, wait. So here we don't find the subject written here, but it is only implied. It's understood who is the subject here, whom you are telling wait there. The subject is you. You should wait there. In another way, if we want to say, we can say you should wait there. That's the same thing, just we are saying wait there in imperative sentence. This is an imperative sentence. Okay? Good. Another example. Study every day. Study every day. Who is the subject? Whom you are telling? You. You should study every day. The subject here is you. You should study every day. So the subject here is hidden. You, but we don't write them. It is just implied or just understood that subject is you. Subject in interrogative. What is interrogative sentence? If you remember, the questioning. The questions, the sentence which asks questions is called interrogative sentence. So in that, how to find out the subject? Let's take the example. So this is an example of interrogative sentence. Have they bought books? Now in this sentence we have to find out what is the subject. So the rule is, if the sentence is in interrogative, to find out the subject we have to just rearrange the order of the words in a sentence. Little bit we have to rearrange, and that is how they have bought books. They have bought books. So this is a question, and this question just we turned in a simple statement to find out the subject in that sentence. And now easily we can find the subject is they. Subject is they. And rest of the things we can call it predicate. Remember, in a sentence we have only two parts, subject and predicate. Once you have found the subject, the rest of the things, they all are predicate. Clear? Good. We have also subject in exclamatory. Subject in exclamatory sentence. Now if you are given exclamatory sentence, if you remember how, which express our strong feelings, and we have at the end of a sentence exclamation mark. So such a sentence, if you are given and told find out the subject, find out the subject in the sentence, the rule is same like interrogative. We have to just slightly rearrange the order of the words in a sentence. And how? Let's see. Now the original sentence is, how nice you are. How nice you are is an exclamatory. So in that we cannot just find, but we can, but easy way to find out the subject, and for that we have to just change the order of the sentence. That is just a simple statement we will try to make from that. You are how nice. Usually we do not say how, but since how is here, we just wrote there. Otherwise, you are nice. You are very nice. The meaning. But here, since the word is here, we just wrote there. So, you are nice. And this is just a simple ordinary statement we made. And now let's find out the subject. Remember, to find out the subject, should always ask, what is the sentence is about? What the sentence is about? The sentence is about you. The sentence is about you. That's why this is the subject. And once you have found the subject, the rest of the parts are predicate. The rest of the parts are predicate. So we have, in a sentence, we have just two parts we are learning now, and they are subject and predicate. Now which part is subject, which part is predicate, we have learned it, and how to find out them very clearly we have learned it. Please do that. And on page number 7, we have exercise. We have exercise that is do for your homework. Try to find out the subject. Ask what the sentence is about. You get the subject. And rest, once you found the subject, rest of the part is a predicate.